Did anybody accuse you to be crazy because this is not normal stuff if you come and say I have voices in my brain and you can't prove it?
Yes, but of course. Of course they did. Yes, of course they did. By this time when this happened to my foot, I was actually seeing a psychiatrist because of my...
Before they chased you?
Yes, exactly. My career was very tough. I was working very hard at the same time as I was responsible for my 2 kids, the grow up of my 2 kids, and it was a pretty tough life. So probably I had this disease, I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but they call it post-traumatic stress. So I lost all my power. I was unable to keep on working. So I went to my ordinary doctor, and she said, well, you can stay home for a couple of weeks and the insurance company will cover your cost and so on. After 3 weeks I was still very tired and nothing has really happened. So then she gave the opportunity to go to a psychiatrist and maybe start discussion if was something in my behavior or something from the past or something that could have created this stress situation. I said, thank you very much, so it seems like a pretty good idea, and they decided that I should go there for 1 year, every Thursday, 1 hour daytime, and have a talk with a psychiatrist. And so I did, and it was very good. And I began to get some of my force back for work and so on, but I still felt that I was not back on my legs totally. So when 1 year has gone, I told them that this was a very good solution. I was asking for to have a longer period, for another 6 months or something. And it was during that time, the next period of this talking with the psychiatrist, this happened to my foot. I ended up at Karolinska.
But this was not connected to your visit to a psychiatrist?
No.
It was something from outside?
From outside, yes.
It just happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
But every Thursday then when I visit this psychiatrist in Sundbyberg.
What's the name?
Her name was Maria Karakowski.
She's a Swedish doctor, a Polish doctor?
Finnish.
Finnish.
Yeah, but working in Sweden, but okay. She has moved to some other place by now. I'm trying to get in touch with her. But anyway, I told her what has happened, that I was at the hospital, and after that I had a kind of a checkup on me 24 hours a day, and they have started a communication with my head. And she wrote in her paper, every time we went they wrote down what like a diagnosis of me as a person, and everything was very good all the time, and I was such a creative person, and there was really nothing wrong they could find. But suddenly when I started to speak about this, she wrote that suddenly the patient is getting real sick, and he's hearing voices in his head, and a lot of things like schizophrenia and so on. Like 2 or 3 weeks later, at an ordinary meeting, 2 other persons showed up, and they were, I believe, from Karolinska Institute, and they said to me that we have arranged a meeting at Karolinska Institute for Karolinska the hospital, And you're going to go there to get a second opinion. Oh, very nice, I thought. Then I can have another chance to explain what they have done with this bioimplants. The guy told me that, well, you can go with me in my car. And I said to him that, sorry, I have my own car outside and I can't leave it there, so I go with my car and you take your car. No, he said, you have to go with my car. Then I looked at Maria, the doctor, and asked, what is this? Is it with some kind of force they take me in, or what is it? I don't know, she said. Then I asked, are you sure that I'm coming home this evening? Because I had my children to take care of and so on. And she said, well, I don't know. Then I said, well, okay, then I have to say thank you very much for this opportunity for a second opinion, but I'm not interested. So I shook their hands and said bye and went home. The rest of the day I wasn't thinking that much about that. I kept on working. I was working 25% of the day at my ordinary work. Then I went home, cooking dinner for my children, and at 6 o'clock it rang on the door.
The same day?
The same day. I opened up and 3 policemen came in. And they had this
in uniform?
In uniforms, yes. And they had this paper that said they're going to pick me up and take me to the mental hospital. And they visited my pockets, all my clothes and everything. And their appearance was, it was not very nice.
Aggressive? Aggressive,
yes. And my daughter, she felt very bad about this situation and asked if she could go with me. And the policeman said that there is no place in the car, you have to take a taxi. Okay, so into the car, and the transport went to Karolinska Hospital, the mental, the locked part of the mental hospital. And there they told me that either you are nice and you are into this apartment, or if you make any problems, we put a belt on you and put you on at that apartment. I wasn't that scared or anything. I just had a shock. Like, what, is this really happening in Sweden? They took away my belt, my keys, my mobile telephone. They took my identity away from me, and they
your wallet.
My wallet also, and put me in a room, a terrible room that was. It smelled urine and terrible environment. And I was starting to thinking about my kids, and this was a weekend, extra long weekend, what do you call that, 4 days. And I was asking for a doctor, somebody that I could make some kind of talk with and see how do I get out of this situation. There was nobody there because of this extra long weekend. So I managed to get my mobile telephone back to make 2 telephone calls. One I made to my daughter Anna, and the second was to a friend of mine, a very good negotiator. I've been working for him earlier in life, and I know him very well.
Nästa gång tar vi min kamera, det här är inte bra. Ja, du stör ju honom i sitt flöde bara för att jag inte är riktigt teknologi.
För att jag inte har...
Ja, du måste ju ha så mycket plats att det ryms utan att du avbryter honom.
Ja, men... Det är som det är.
Jag måste andas lite mellan dem.
Ja, det blir inte bra om man bara sitter.
Men om jag har bättre grejer så får du ta det nästa.
Ja.
Okej.
Fast jag har inte bättre ljud.
Var var vi någonstans? Jo, this negotiation. Säg till när du ska köra.
Yeah, sure.
So I called this friend of mine, his name is Tore, by the way, and he was in Linköping. He immediately went into the car and drove up to Stockholm, and he came into the hospital, and he managed to get an extra doctor down to the apartment where they had locked me in, something that I didn't manage to do, because the more I pushed to see a doctor, the more they thought that I really had some kind of disease. But he managed to get a doctor there, and made a negotiation with him that I had the right to go home and get some toilet things, like a toothbrush and a shaver and so on, and also to go down to my ship. We owe a big ship in the family, and there was these warnings about a big storm coming in, so I thought I had to put some extra ropes on and so on, and that's what I did. And then I took my own car and went back to the hospital. I should be there latest 6 o'clock. So I parked at the parking place for where the employed should park their cars, and went into the hospital. They took away my wallet, my watch, my mobile telephone, my belt and so on, and kept me there over the night. And the day after, I had in this negotiation the right to go home during daytime. So I took my car, I drove home, I spent my day, went back 6 o'clock, logged in at the hospital, and it kept on until, I don't know if it was Monday or Tuesday, when there was an ordinary working day. And then my friend Tore, he showed up as well for having a negotiation with the doctor, and he said that we have had a checkup on you now for 4 nights, and doesn't seem to be any bigger problem, so you can go out now.
Okay, and during your stay in that mental hospital, did the voices come back?
Yes.
What did they say?
The same. They tried to make an understanding. It's the computer system works like a little kid is learning from his parents. It's asking questions all the time, and it kept on during the visit at the hospital. But it was a little bit. It was not as aggressive.
They didn't force you to do something?
No, they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
No, they didn't.
And then you never were asked to go back?
No. When I went home from the hospital, I received a letter from my psychiatrist that she has moved me to another place in Solna, they said that if you want any further contact with us, you should call whatever that, I don't remember the name of that place in Solna.
Mm-hmm. Got it worse after your visit in the mental hospital?
No.
No changes?
No changes, no. It's just a machine learning system, and it's pushed or driven by artificial intelligence. It's more or less like a learning computer that gets more and more intelligent and knows more and more about me, my feelings, my knowledge, and my memories.
But how can you be so sure that that's only a computer talking to you and not a human?
That's very hard to express to somebody. You have to if it happened to you, you should know it as well.
You have an intuition on that?
Yes, an intuition, yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And it also makes sense with everything you read about the goals that the scientists have for their research today. That is to build a complete model of the brain, to get an understanding of the brain.
Mm.
And that is something that you can never do in this advanced imaging technology they have at the hospitals this fMRI or PET cameras, because the human life, that's what do you say? That's a process. It's nothing you can take images of. You have to follow the brain over several years to get an understanding of what the brain is.
Mm.
And such projects are going on. We know about that. So to me, it's nothing strange. The strange thing is that they don't ask you to get a permission to do this kind of research. I also know why. That is because nobody knows really what happens now when we go into the new era of science and research with nanotechnology. Nobody knows what happens when you put nanotechnology in your body. So you can't get any objects to do research on with free wills, because you cannot guarantee their further health. You don't really know what happens with these nanoparticles in your body. So this is a clinical test of nanoelectronics I call it virtual mode. It's a virtual mode, acoustic virtual mode. And at the same time they do real-time studies to see what type of things you get scared about, and what they record all your feelings.
Do you have some indications that the Swedish military also is involved in your case?
Well, you can never know, but there is a lot of documents from the Swedish military, FOE, and here they are talking about very small objects that could be computerized, and that you can get micro robots that are smaller than 1,000 of a millimeter, and they can be spread like, is it called pollen in the air?
Yeah.
And they are also talking about these components could be connected into the nerve system and can speak directly with the brain. And my conclusion is that if we talk about artificial intelligence as a weapon, and artificial intelligence, that is computer systems that is designed to mimic a human person. Artificial intelligence can be used in a war system to manipulate people. So of course the military has to be the first ones that have a control over artificial intelligence, because otherwise it can be a threat from some other nation or country.
I agree. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was very interesting and shocking to hear that story as well, and especially that you're totally without rights in those mental hospitals. That shouldn't be in a democracy.
No, and the problem is how it affects your life, because this takes all your energy.
Yes.
Because they keep on 24 hours a day, year after year. So you lose your capability to make your living.
Yeah.
That's the big problem.
Mm-hmm.
So they force you out of life step by step, very slowly.
Yeah.